Hello everyone, now we are going to solve the questions based on the combinations of the spring. In this question it is given that which is the equivalent stiffness, that means spring constant, the system shown in figure. So you have given a diagram, you can see here, where a block is going to be attached between the two springs. So you can see first you need to calculate the connections, whether it is series or in parallel. So I have told you the conditions. How can you find out the connections type, that means whether it is series or parallel. In case of parallel, there will be equal deflections in the springs. So you can see when the block will move in the upward directions, when the block is moving in the upward directions, there will be equal deflections. That means the extension of the lower spring would be the compression of the top spring. If the block will move in the downward directions, there will be an extension of the upper spring will be the equal to the compression of the lower spring. So like that, there will be equal deflections in the spring. So we can say this is a parallel type connection. And we all know that in case of parallel type connections, in case of parallel, how can you calculate the equivalent stiffness? You know very well. This is the A equivalent would be A1 plus K2. Okay, so that means 8 plus 60, that means 24 Newton per annum. Now the important thing is that there is a 10 coils is given and 5 coils are given. Remember one thing, that when you calculate the equivalent stiffness, there is no effect of the number of coils on that. Okay, you need not to consider number of coils, whether it is 10 coils, 20 coils and 50 coils, doesn't matter. You just have to focus on the spring constant for each spring. Okay, and according to the connection, you just have to apply the formula. It is parallel connections. If it was series connections, you know that the different formula for finding out the equivalent stiffness in case of series connections. So you can see that when the number of springs are added in parallel connections, there will be an increase in the equivalent stiffness. That is the physical phenomena. You must understand that this is physical characteristics. That means when you added the springs in a parallel, that means equivalent stiffness will increase. But as you added the springs in series, there will be a equivalent stiffness which will going to be reduced. Okay, so that is the basic difference between the parallel and the series connection. In series connections, equivalent stiffness decreases, whereas in parallel connections, equivalent stiffness increases. Okay, so for this question, answer was 24 Newton per annum. Okay, so I hope you will understand the solution of that question.